at some point.
Okay, so expeditionary learning in our class, we have a science class, and this year we're focused primarily on physical sciences, and we've had a pretty big emphasis on the flood, which is current events, and it's been overarching in the school. So we've had a chance to, in a very expeditionary way, investigate the dynamics of flooding and streams and how all of that works by borrowing the stream table from Queechee, I forgot what they're called. And we spent several weeks just running experiments with the stream table, and the students designed their own experiments with our help a little bit, set them up, figured out what part of it was working, what part of it wasn't working. They collected data on their experiments. They were able to draw conclusions about that. And I don't think we would have had the opportunity to do that in a regular classroom setting.
Yeah, and the really great thing about it too is once we did our own experimentation, our students had the opportunity of preparing a presentation for the elementary school students and rehearsing their presentation, and actually even preparing questions that they thought that the students might ask, and being ready when the elementary school students came with excitement to see what the stream table is and what it does. And then our students ended up engaging with them, teaching them, answering their questions, and showing them what they learned.
And all of that actually dovetailed in with the work that Gary did with the students, because Gary took them actually on field trips
Yes.
to the local dams to talk to experts, stream experts in the area, to talk about the flooding in the area, to see actually the real world impacts of all of that. And they were able to then point to, in the stream table model, oh, this cut bank that we see developing here, that's what happened at this location in Ludlow. So they were able to actually relate it back to real world observable events.
And we were able to take some measurements in the stream table too. So we were able to calibrate the flow rates and determine the amount of water that was flowing based on the settings, and look at the amount of damage that we saw based on the settings and the flow rate. So we had them do some of these calculations and prepare for this so that we can actually see the differences in the damage that you get.
Right. So,
and all of this relates to the physics that we're doing right now, which is part of the physical science class that we're doing, where we're actually doing motion and studying motion speeds, velocities, and those kind of things. And so that all kind of goes together pretty well.
Yeah, and so now we're moving into a new unit that relates, because it's about forces and motions, and we've been able to have the students do some experiments with speed and acceleration using Hot Wheel tracks. And so it's not all sitting behind a desk getting the information sent to them and having to take notes, but a lot of it is hands-on. And so they're exploring how this works for themselves. And we're hoping that by the end of this unit, when we get to projectile motion, they will be able to explore more this phenomenon, this projectile motion, how things move in that way by designing and building and testing catapults. So again, it'll be another hands-on project.
And then we'll take measurements.
And we'll take measurements.
What we see.
Changing different variables and seeing what the results are. The students will actually get a chance to really, put their hands on it and explore projectile motion that way.